Okay, I'm here today, one of my many trips to Staten Island, the forgotten borough, although I certainly haven't forgotten it, as unfortunately too many of my colleagues and friends on Manhattan and in Brooklyn and Queens and the Bronx have. And I even brought my son, little Anthony Chester. So it's a very important occasion because of the desire to get somebody into the position being vacated by Vito Fossella, the outgoing congressman, who can best represent the interests of the side of this district that I was born and raised on, Brooklyn, Bay Ridge, Dyker Heights, Bensonhurst, that area, and obviously completely Staten Island. And so after having many conversations long ago prior to Carmine Morano expressing interest in getting involved in this congressional race, he has proven to me clearly that he is a master of the issue of health, Medicare, Medicaid, health savings accounts, alternative ways of dealing with the looming 800-pound gorilla that is going to come crashing down on all of us, and particularly affect the lives of working-class people and senior citizens in Staten Island and Brooklyn. The reason I've had to reach this decision to endorse the Independence Party candidate, who now is seeking the appropriate number of signatures to properly qualify and compete with both the Democrat, the Republican, and others, is simply because the Republicans have failed in their mission to secure Vito Fossella's seat. It's time to go the Independence Party route because Carmine Morano has the interests of the people at Staten Island, both those that take mass transit, those who drive their cars, those who own homes, those who are tenants, and also the residents on the Brooklyn side. His health care policy, there are few, if any, advocates in Congress who are experts in health care policy and health care reform. His ideas about mass transit are right on the money, particularly with the looming energy crisis that gets bigger and bigger each and every day. And most importantly, he's ready to do good old-fashioned retail politics because McMahon, he talks about needing to raise money. Powers, raise money. You can't run a campaign unless you have a lot of money. Well, guess what? Carmine Morano is ready to do good old-fashioned retail politics and bust his shoes on Staten Island and the Brooklyn side of the district. And I've pledged that I'll be side by side with him because Staten Island and Brooklyn need a stand-up guy representation in Washington to represent their common concerns, not an MTA board member who already has voted for increases that are against the working man, working woman's interests, or McMahon, whose only constituent service is when one of the constituents is in an ambulance and he's chasing it there because he wants to practice his form of martial art, I sue, and represent the slip and fall lawyers. So I endorse Carmine Morano today.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
I just want to say, as someone who is fresh in the arena of New York politics, I'm very pleased to be endorsed by an icon of New York, Curtis Leroy. And as you know, since the 70s, when Curtis founded the Guardian Angels, that seed that he planted is now in 11 countries and over 100 cities. And not only do they patrol the streets and neighborhoods, but they also provide educational programs and workshops for schools and businesses. So I'm starting to feel a little bit like a fictional character as I run through the streets of District 13 wearing this shirt. Yeah. I'm starting to get people honking the horns and waving to me from their car windows in recognition of my running for Congress in this district. So I'm starting to feel a little bit like a cross between Forrest Gump and Rocky Balboa. But what's not fictional is our need to send new leadership to Washington. My career has been in the business of healthcare. I am not a doctor, but I understand the nature of how doctors are paid and the stress that's put on them in order to survive in the healthcare community today. As well, I know how big insurance companies work and what can be done to make the system much more cost-effective. The country needs to have a serious debate about healthcare, and I am just the right person to be in the middle of that debate in Washington. As well, the country needs a comprehensive energy program, the centerpiece of which must be mass transit. Nowhere is that more clear than here on Staten Island. We need to build systems like Denver and San Francisco, and I know it can be done. If we were able to build a train that runs down the middle of the Van Wyck Expressway, there's no reason why we can't build a train that runs down the middle of the Staten Island Expressway, or the West Shore Expressway, or reopen the North Shore Railway. Taxes are an issue for Brooklyn and Staten Island, much more than they are for other places around the country. The communities of Brooklyn and Staten Island are high-paying communities, high tax-paying communities. Gradually, the federal government's alternative minimum tax is eating away at our ability to deduct income and real estate taxes on our federal return. The AMT needs to be indexed so it does what it was intended to do, stop the loopholes for the very wealthy. These are just a few things and a few issues which are important to me and the District 13 community. I know if given the chance, I can make a difference. I can be that new leadership that's so desperately needed in Washington. So I urge you to support me. I urge you to go visit my website, www.morano4congress.org. Thank you very much.